Former Royal Navy nuclear-powered attack submarine HMS Swiftsure has begun its dismantling as part of its scrapping process. Remarkably, the submarine is the first British nuclear-powered submarine to be completely dismantled and decommissioned. This means that all of the Royal Navy's nuclear-powered submarines that are no longer in service are currently in dock awaiting scrapping, a process that has only just begun after years of silence. Babcock International Group, a British aerospace, defense, and nuclear engineering company, recently announced that the first major cuts have been made to Swifts's exterior. This involves the removal of the submarine's fins, or sails, after which it is lowered into dry dock. A process seen in the photo at the top of this story that HMS Swiftsure is the lead ship of a class of nuclear-powered submarines built for the Royal Navy. The submarine entered service in 1973 and served until 1992. A particularly notable episode in its service occurred in 1977, when Swiftsure managed to penetrate a destroyer and frigate escort screen undetected and approached the Soviet Navy aircraft carrier Kiev. The submarine recorded invaluable acoustic signatures and took detailed underwater periscope images of the Soviet carrier's hull and propellers, something you can read more about here. Swiftsure is being dismantled at Rosyth in Scotland under the Submarine Dismantling Project (SDP). The submarine serves as a demonstrator for the wider SDP, which will eventually see the disposal of other retired Royal Navy nuclear submarines, including the attack submarine, SSN, and ballistic missile submarine, SSBN, classes. Work on Swiftsure is being carried out by Babcock in partnership with the Ministry of Defence's Defence Nuclear Enterprise, contractor KDC Veolia Decommissioning Services UK Ltd, and Rolls-Royce. Up to 90% of Swiftsure, by total weight, is being recycled, with at least some of the high-grade steel being reused as components for future Royal Navy submarines. This project demonstrates our commitment to sustainable disposal practices, said Lorraine Russell, senior owner in charge of the submarine disposal program. By recycling materials wherever possible, we are ensuring that these vessels that have served our country so well continue to deliver value long after they are decommissioned. The plan calls for Swiftsure to be fully decommissioned by the end of 2026, making it the first British nuclear-powered submarine to be fully decommissioned. Once the process has been proven, Babcock will then lead the long-term dismantling of the remaining nuclear-powered submarines, which are being stored at Rosyth and Devonport in southwest England.